Hello, everyone. I'm Kelly Myszkowski of Inner Light Transformational Coaching and Craniosacral Therapy. And here with me today is my friend Caren, who will introduce herself in a moment. Caren and I met in an amazing networking group and found that we have a lot in common and that potentially the clients that we work with also have a lot in common. So we wanted to come together and help share the message of how you can improve your life and be more authentically you and less stressed because of it. So, Caren, why don't you go ahead and tell everybody a little bit about who you are and what you have to offer the world, what you would like to share?
So I am Caren Cooper. I am in Staten Island, New York, and I am a health and mindset coach. So what I offer the world is I help you get off that hamster wheel of life. This I the spinning of the plates that you have. Maybe you have the vision of the spinning of all the plates. I kept having that vision in my head of, you're having all these plates in the air and you're spinning them and spinning them and just, hoping they don't fall or waiting for the other shoe to drop, living in that kind of vernacular. So I help in two ways. I have health and wellness. I am partnered with a company named Isogenics. So I share with you these amazing products that help you feel like a human again. And I share how you can get off that diet hamster wheel and live a healthy lifestyle without deprivation, because healthy is a lifestyle, not a life sentence. And I also work with you on your mindset because it's not just what you're feeding your mouth, it's also what you're feeding your mind, who you're surrounding yourself with as well. So healthy from a holistic standpoint, yes, using the isogenics products. And I also share the side of the income side of isogenics. It's a network marketing company, and it's how you can earn an income and still contribute financially to your family. I was a woman who used to work in corporate America. My kids are currently 22 and 17, but I went back to work when my daughter was 10 weeks old. And to make a very long story short, I wasn't a fan. Just wasn't a fan of having to be working and commuting. And at that time, 22 years ago, there wasn't a lot of flexibility like there is now. And so it was really hard for me to be at a job and missing things. There's just a lot of guilt, a lot of mishigas, as I like to say, going on. And so I always wished and wanted something with flexibility, something that allowed me to be home, but that allowed me to earn an income. And network marketing it can be that vehicle for people. So I love to share that opportunity with people. I want to caveat this, by the way, and say this, and even with what I'm going to say with what I do with the mindset coaching as well. The work when you works it, and even with what Kelly does as well. If you don't put the work in, it's not going to work. And I don't mean that poorly, and I don't mean to be obnoxious about it, but I think it's important to know that people think, oh, this is just going to happen. No, there is work that is involved to do. We have systems and we have things that in place. Both Kelly and I know, have ways for us to to make sure that the work is getting done, so that you get the transformation that you're looking for, whatever that may be. And the second thing that I do is I'm a certified trauma informed mindset coach. And so I actually have a 12-week transformational program coming up with the Mind Magic framework. It's called Unscrew Yourself, how to untie the knots in your stomach and get out of your own way. And like I said, it's a 12-week course starting November 5th. And really what it does is rewires, reprograms, and we rewire, we reprogram, we connect to your body. We have more ease and flow in our lives. You have breath work and all the negative thoughts, all the thoughts you're thinking, all the stories you're telling yourself. We rewire, we reprogram them so that you have your core, you have guiding life feelings, the way you feel, the way you project, the way you're like, oh my God, I feel amazing. And I'm thinking good thoughts. Because when you think, oh, it's going to be a crappy day, what do you think is going to happen? It's going to be a crappy day. So it's where you put your focus and attention. It's really changing your relationship with some fear, with resistance. It's 12 weeks of amazingness. And it's very transformational. That, like I said, that starts on November 5th. And how I work with you, it's live. It's going to be live coaching every week. And then there's going to be 6 support sessions in between. And you get workbooks and you get all the things. And plus I do dancing on social media. So I'll be doing some dancing with you because I'm a little corny and weird too. And I own it. And so that is what I do.
I love your corny and weird. And that's part of being authentically you and expressing and allowing you to be in the world. So before we forget, do you want to tell people how they can get more information? Then I know as we share the video out in the world with the video on social media or wherever we use it, you also have information in print. But
Yes. I also work in song and music lyrics as well, so that too. But so you can get in touch with me. I live on 3 social media platforms. I live on Facebook. So my name is Caren, and I'm not that Karen because it's Caren. So I'm going to spell it out for you. So on Facebook, it's my first maiden and married name. So Caren Shagren, Schagren, Cooper, Cooper. My Instagram is Caren Cooper with an underscore, so CarenCooper underscore. And my LinkedIn is also the same as my Facebook, Caren, Caren, Shagren, Schagren, Cooper, Cooper.
awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So I love a lot of what you said. There's a lot of intersection, as I said, which is part of what brought us together. And I resonate from the standpoint of getting into this myself through my own experience working in the corporate world and just feeling like I had maxed out and I was very young. I was not willing to do what it took to go any further. The desire was not there. And I adjusted my outlook as far as my job was concerned and what I was actually doing on my job to make myself feel more comfortable and really focus on the aspects of it that I liked. And at the same time, there was this little whisper like, there's more. There is something more. There is something greater for you. You have a purpose. And I dismissed that. So that was part of my programming. Not that anyone actually told me necessarily that I didn't have a purpose, but it was something I somehow came to believe. I don't even know how. I thought that was reserved for the special people, the ones that, make headlines and they get these awards and there's all these ceremonies and videos and everybody dresses up and goes and watches. Not realizing that we all have a purpose and that we all are uniquely designed to bring that to the world. And that part of what happens is we adopt all that limiting programming that you mentioned, and we don't even realize it. We just come to some conclusion about how the world works and what's possible for us and what is and isn't possible, and what we should and shouldn't do to be good, to contribute, to succeed. And this is how it is, wherever that comes from, whether it's something that we literally were told over and over again, or it comes through some sort of emotional or traumatic experience, or just through observing the world, a conclusion that we draw. And yes, we do have programming that supports us as well. There are good mindsets that we can also be adopting without even knowing. But we want to be able to capitalize on those and create more of those and release those that aren't serving us. And what was happening to me is it was showing up in my body in terms of tissue restriction and discomfort that wasn't pain initially. Some areas became painful. And just to keep it brief today, that's all I'm going to say about that, except that I wasn't getting better with all the traditional, conventional interventions of physical therapy, occupational therapy, even massage therapy, chiropractic, and ergonomics. And I was in loss prevention. I was the ergonomics specialist in my department. And I made those changes to my workstation to make the workstation fit me so my body didn't have to stress itself and adapt. And it still wasn't fitting because what I was doing was on the physical level. It wasn't on the mental and emotional level. And I wasn't listening to those subtle whispers. And how I finally got through this became the basis for how I work with clients today. Ultimately, resourcing that part of me that is naturally trying to self correct and self heal. So, all of those forces that formed us in the beginning as we were conceived and we became that ball of cells that evolved into a human being that was born into the world, those things are still with us. They're still helping us live and grow and survive. but they can help us thrive if we can get out of survival mode and get out of those limitations and living on that hamster wheel and balancing all of those plates and allow ourselves to relax and come into that space of infinite potentials and possibilities. What else can arise for us? What other opportunities can come about? And in the process of doing that, those self corrective forces can kick in. And what I have learned is that it's really not, for me, in the way that I work, mindset. I call it body mindset because the really super limiting patterns I found are anchored in our physiology and patterns of function in our body that are like viral programs. And with that is often a restriction in our soft tissue that may be perceived as a tension pattern. It may be showing up as headaches, postural issues, pain, lack of energy, insomnia, inability to digest our food well. So we have digestive issues. All of those kinds of things can be signs. And they're typically also associated with stress. What I also learned is that stress isn't random. How it shows up in out pictures in our body tells us a lot about the body mindset that is underlying those limitations in our lives. It doesn't just happen to hit here or happen to hit there. There's very much a metaphor behind it. So I help people reach that point of deep relaxation after we do some assessment to see where they are, what are they trying to achieve, what seems to be in their way, and relax, allow nature to take its course, resource those forces, do a deeper dive into who they are in various ways to get to know what their strengths are, what their shadows and challenges typically tend to be, and allow all those patterns to unwind and make space for new healthy ones to emerge. Very natural organic process that their inner wisdom, their soul, their higher self actually leads. And then they learn how to do that on their own beyond our work together. And I know we're going to talk in more depth going forward to give people a little more information, but we both want to keep this as brief as possible, yet give you a glimpse into who this might be for and how we might be able to help you. So if you're someone, typically I'm working with women who are professional women that have reached a certain level of success in the traditional sense. They're longing for more, but they don't know what to do next. And they're trying to figure it out, which means they're in their head. And the head, as we call it, the mind, the intellect, the logic, the rational part of us has learned a pattern of thought that also can be limiting us and telling us why we can't do or become or change, or it doesn't make sense, it's not going to work, this will happen, that'll happen, and all of these stories that hold us back. So that's kind of a hamster wheel. In essence, that's having yourself all screwed up. So as Caren said, unscrew yourself. I call it getting out of your own way. And you can connect with me through my website. Is the easiest to find me at letyourinnerlightshine.com. Then you don't have to worry about how to spell my name. So that is all lowercase, letyourinnerlightshine.com. And I am also on LinkedIn, Kelly Myszkowski, and I am on Facebook as well. I work with people privately, one-on-one, so it's a very intimate experience. It's a very hands-on experience, very personal to you. And then I am focused on you having the experience that your system is ready for. So I look forward to chatting with you again, Caren. This has been awesome. Do you have any final
I
words you'd like to
I
say?
do actually, because I realized I didn't give any context into why I started
Yes.
either journey in the first place. So it's like, oh, great, Caren, that's what you do. Great. Why would I care? So I'd like to just share quickly
Yes.
about why I started both things, if you don't mind. So 8 years ago, I started Isogenics, and the reason why I started is because I was working in corporate America, and I legitimately couldn't keep up with my life. I was exhausted, I was miserable, I was cranky, I was just out of control. And I had watched people I work out with take these products and just, lose weight and earn the money. And I was a very huge skeptic, but I couldn't keep up. So I said yes. And within a week, I felt like a human being. So while I did lose weight on the products, which was amazing, and that was my intention to start with, the actual not falling asleep at my desk at 3 p.m. was a huge added bonus that I didn't understand I would get. And the personal development piece was added to that. So it's not just, drink a shake and be done. And because of the personal development, I kept going and going and going. And then I found myself at a place of like a plateau, if you will. And that's when I started to dive deeper. I realized it was me causing the I was in my own way. So that's when I started to dive deeper. And by diving deeper, I then got certified in the mindset program that helped me transform, which is Mind Magic. So that's where I ended up being what I am now. So I worked with women who were like me. They were skeptical. They were miserable. They were exhausted. All the plates in the air, on the hamster wheel. Women entrepreneurs and working moms. Those are the two, because, it's one, working mom, you're an entrepreneur, working in corporate, you're still a working mom. But those are the people that I like to help, because you get the, oh my God, I didn't know I can do that. I love that transformation. Or someone who just took my, I did a 3 free day course the other day, and she was just like, oh my God, there was so much like she didn't understand about connecting to, we're so in survival mode and we're not connected to our bodies, and we don't even realize it half the time. And we hustle and we don't sit still. And so how to just even connect, how to not believe a thought we think, and put our focus in different, in areas that's really going to benefit us. She was in 3 days, she was like, oh my God. So that's what I love to see. Those transformations are like my favorite. So that's what I just wanted to add.
Well, I'm glad you added that because it's beautiful, and it's in essence, we both do transformational coaching work to support that personal growth. And then we each have a way that we help people deal with their physical bodies as well. And I can do that virtually through the coaching program and adding in some elements of working with people's nervous system virtually, or they can see me in person for craniosacral care hands-on. And I'll go into that in more depth. And then you're using the isogenics and those products to help support the health of the body. And by using a multifaceted approach, then it's a little harder for the resistance to persist because you've kind of surrounded it, if you will, with a very holistic approach. And it's just amazing what happens when you let go of those things that are holding you back and you discover more of who you truly are and you let that shine in the world, how much healthier you are because you don't have those restrictive patterns running in your body anymore. And then it's working well as your vehicle in this world to make your unique difference. And it's amazing what will fall away naturally and what will appear for you, what new doors will open without efforting. Isn't that great? You don't have to spin those plates anymore. If they're meant to spin, the universe will help you out. So,
Exactly.
well, thank you. Any last thoughts?
Yeah. That was perfect.
Awesome. Okay, so we will connect with all of you again very soon. Stay tuned. Take care and bye for now.
I